Welcome to episode 3 of Questions for Mama, the podcast, where wounded and estranged family members can ask questions on their journey toward family truth and reconciliation. I'm your host, Christina Dixon. Today, I want to ask the question, what happens when intentions and reality meet? Think about this for a moment. Just because we don't mean to offend others doesn't mean that we won't. Just because we don't mean to overlook things that are important to others doesn't mean that we didn't. Just because we are focused intently on one thing does not mean that other things should not be considered. So many times we do things without once having a thought about the potential impact our choices will have on those we love. Frankly, when we choose to live selfishly, it's like walking through a minefield. You never know which inconsiderate, prideful, or short-sighted act is going to blow up in your face. In my case, it was easy to walk away from my children at first. All I had to do was think of how lonely I was, how deeply I yearned for someone to love me. Looking back, I had no idea the pain I was causing myself, my children, or my parents. All I knew was that I had to do something about this hole that was sucking all the joy out of me. So when my children started talking about how my abandonment affected them and asked me questions about why I left, shame urged me to do everything and anything except apologize. How do you respond when loved ones point out that you've hurt them, when that wasn't your intent? Do you justify your actions? Do you rationalize? Do you discount your loved one as being overly sensitive? Or do you humbly apologize, confess your failure, and ask forgiveness? Too many times, we find humble apologies difficult. As far as we're concerned, others should understand. After all, aren't we human? As such, sometimes we don't think things through. Consequently, we leave issues of importance unconsidered. Why make such a big deal of it? Responses like these expose our failure to remember that our interests aren't the only ones that matter. More often than not, pride raises its head and convinces us that the other person is making a mountain out of a molehill. Or we convince ourselves that others are just taking their frustrations out on us. Rarely do we stop to realize that we bear some responsibility for causing hurt, even when we don't mean to. If you have neglected or hurt others, can you take responsibility for your choices? But that isn't always the hard part. You know what can really be frustrating sometimes? Knowing that it's just as true that just because others offend us doesn't mean they meant to. Just because others overlook things that were important to us doesn't mean that we're not important to them. Just because others didn't consider how we might be impacted by their choices doesn't mean they don't love us. Just because others don't think things through thoroughly doesn't mean they intend to hurt us. As a child growing up, I expected that my adult life was going to be a lot different than it actually was. As silly as it may sound, I was expecting my children's fathers, yes, fathers with an S, to be more like Prince Charming. I know it's no surprise that they weren't. And I definitely was not the demure, always helpful Cinderella. I often tell people that I was a three-eyed monster when I was in my 20s. I was ignorant, immature, and irresponsible. My entire life was filtered through those three eyes. How do you respond when loved ones react to being told that they've hurt you by justifying their actions? Do you condemn? Do you judge? Do you escalate matters by using harsh criticism? Or do you extend mercy, patience, understanding, and forgiveness? Heck, if I'm really going to be transparent, I was harsh, condemning, and judgmental regarding my children's father's lack of support. Never once did I really take time to consider how overwhelmed they may have been. I was only concerned about how things affected me. Too often, we find it difficult to extend mercy and forgiveness. As far as we're concerned, others should be willing to suffer the penalty for what we see as selfishness, carelessness, and irresponsibility. After all, just because we're human doesn't mean we can do things without thinking. Hurting people, intentionally or not, is a big deal, right? Yet, as a person who desires to please God, being kind, tenderhearted, and forgiving toward each other gives us the challenge to realize that more than likely, on some level, we have done the exact same thing as the person offending us. Back then, my faith challenged me to practice the golden rule. It wasn't easy, but I asked myself, how would you want to be treated if you behaved irresponsibly? That was easy. I wanted my children to forgive me. More than that, I wanted God to forgive me. You know what? I never would have thought that making the choice to forgive would allow me and my children's fathers to enjoy peaceful connection. We have been able to attend our children's weddings, graduations, and other family gatherings together without hostility, no arguments, no drama. In fact, I have a Father's Day picture with my children, their fathers, and my husband of the last 33 years. Today, as you consider those who have hurt you, think about those you may have hurt. Then ask yourself, how would you like others to respond to you? Would you want their response to be merciful or merciless? Examine the relationships in your life. Are your children, your family, able to be together without drama? If so, blessings to you. May you continue to model family unity for those of us who have to work hard just to be civil. If not, can you at least consider that those who have hurt you may not have done so intentionally? Or maybe you have other questions. Let's pursue the answers to our questions together. Email questions@questionsformama.com. Till next time, this is Christina Dixon taking the courageous journey toward family truth and authentic, joy-filled reconciliation to restore unity to my family and yours.